Howdy ho, good neighbors. What's going on? It's Phil Russert. It is Tuesday, and we are excited. We are going to launch a new book under Philbo Publishing. The creator and writers, I should say, will be with us tonight, Alejandro and Iris. We will also have cover artist Kenny Calderon and letterer George Medina. That's George with a J. They're going to come on a little bit later. We're really excited. We're going to launch live. We hope that you share this out. We hope that you come out, and we hope that you help support. Just so you know, they are so dedicated, Iris and Alejandro, that they're in Madrid right now. They're from Cuba, and it's 3 in, and they are here to do this live at 3 in because they're so passionate and excited about this that I just love that. That's what this is about. This is about the passion, the excitement, the love for comics and what we do. I'm going to be sharing out in some groups, and we really hope that you come and help us launch strong. They are nervous, and it's their first crowdfunding in America, and rightfully so. They're nervous. There's Bear, hello, or as Alejandro calls her, Warrior Princess. I'm going to bring them on, and you're going to get to see them. I'm just sharing out in a bunch of groups real quick. Give everybody time to get in here. We have one person watching. Whoever you are, thank you for coming out. We hope that more people come out to support us because this is important. We want to tell stories that engage you and bring you in and that help you escape the craziness of life. And that's really what stories are supposed to do, right? We're supposed to entertain you. And we're supposed to maybe give you characters that you relate to and that you are excited to see where their tale and their journey goes. And that's what we have for you. Before I introduce our guests, Bear, tell them. Say hi.
Hello.
What about you, kitten? You want to say hi? Hello. She's the shy one. Anyway, I'm going to pull our guests on. We have Alejandro and Iris. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
So,
good evening to everybody, ladies, gentlemen, and princess.
Yeah,
Princess Warrior.
he calls you Warrior Princess.
So true.
So true. Look at you. Cheesy. So you guys, it's late. It's 3 in there. You're up. You're tired, but you're excited at the same time. It's wonderful that we're getting to do this. I'm glad that we're working together. I really look forward to this funding and bringing this to the American market. It's a very interesting tale. We're going to get into launching the campaign, showing it live, talking all about it. But first, ladies first. Iris, why don't you tell us a little about yourself and what are you a writer, what you're doing, and then Alejandro, you go ahead after and tell us about you.
Good evening again to everybody. I'm Iris Rosales. I'm a writer. I'm working in another short history and another another script writer to another comic. Y, and that's all for now.
Yeah, I
Um,
read Iris's.
Alejandro's wife.
I read Iris's other script, and that's another good story that you may be seeing come to life in the future. So
Yeah.
very cool. Alejandro reached out to me on Facebook about a year ago, I think, and
Year ago, a
yes,
contest. Nice.
yeah, and you sent me the script, and I really was impressed. I really liked it. You're a very talented writer. I like the concept. Really good sci-fi. So tell us about yourself, Alejandro.
Well, I am a sci-fi, a cyberpunk writer. I have a collection of short stories called Chungamaya. It's in Spanish.
Mhm.
Very cool. Chungamaya. What does
Uh,
Chungamaya mean?
it's a name I made up for a giant, a giant catfish.
Okay.
Is my
Parody. Yeah. Parody to Moby Dick.
is my parody to Moby Dick.
But made it in Cuba.
Okay.
It's a giant uh, catfish that turn
John and Block.
turn around the island and destroy all the means of transportation in Cuba. So the Cuba is isolated by that.
And in that book,
It's
Fumigator
like a film.
is in there, right?
It's the first story. It's the first
Yeah.
story.
So
It's the first illustration.
for those of you who are just tuning in, we're going to launch live. This is Iris and Alejandro. They're from Cuba, but they're currently in Madrid right now. It's 3 a.m, but they're excited to launch Fumigator, which they both wrote. Alejandro wrote it, and Iris has assisted with writing. And Alex Bravo is illustrating, and Fabio, who has 50 names, is coloring, and George is lettering, and I'm publishing, and we're excited about this. We're going to show you a review that was done by DM Ray, who has Madcaps coming under Filbo Publishing in April. We're going to do show his quick little review, and then we're going to launch the campaign. And hopefully you help us start strong, everybody. If you like sci-fi, we're gonna get into what it's about. But let's check this out. This is a review by DM Ray.
This episode is brought to you by the Madcaps, launching soon. Details can be found on my profile. Go and check it out. Greetings, viewers. This is DM Ray with my 15th indie review. Make sure to support indie comics. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Fumigator by Cuba's Alejandro Rojas. This book is nothing short of unique. Alejandro's imagination is the driving force which carries this story. How can I summarize this book in my own words? Well, imagine Old Man Logan has replaced Judge Dredd, and he's part of a team who lives in a Skynet-like future, fighting nanobots which can mutate living creatures into monsters. Did I mention he also works with a giant mutant catfish which can crawl on land and live off of garbage? Something I find very entertaining with this story is the Fumigator's limitations. His age is an obvious dynamic at play, but there's other things as well. For example, due to his EMP-based weapons, Fumigators are not allowed to ride vehicles, leaving bicycles as the best choice. My only frustration currently is that I cannot share any more details than what I have already told you. A story about an aging soldier in the dystopian future of Havana, kicking and screaming his way through life while everything tries to eat him. The Fumigator is a fresh breath of air for storytelling, and this book is exactly why I have been reviewing indie comics. This book deserves a chance, I'm telling you right now. This is a story with zero expectations, unique vision, and brings back what enjoying comics used to feel like. Alejandro's story deserves to be brought to life, and today his Kickstarter launches. If you look in the details under this video, you can look at the link, you can see the art, and all of the different tiers that you can invest into. These are the types of stories worth getting the attention. So if you're watching this video, please go and check this out. I promise this is definitely worth your while. Cheers.
Thank you to DM Ray. He volunteered to do the review, and he does sincere reviews. And that's what we want. So just to elaborate on what he's saying, this is a science fiction tale, and it's in a dystopian future in Havana, Cuba. And if you're someone who hates getting up to his job every day and you're just tired of the grind, this is a character you'll relate to, because he's all of us in that respect. And that's what we do at Filbo. We put out books with characters that matter. Because if you're not invested in the character, why do you care, right? So he's older, he's tired, he's disgruntled, and he's about to have the worst day of his life. He's going in to clean out a nanobot infection. Think Judge Dredd, Terminator, like you said, Old Man Logan, a bunch of things mixed together, but its own unique story. Well written, a lot of action, a lot of fun. And it's a nice, different journey. It's not the same redundant stuff that's being put out right now, in mainstream media. So really hope you guys take a look at this. I hope you check it out or share with your friends. I'm going to show you the campaign page because we're going to launch. Let me get to the launch page. And what we'll do is we'll launch live, and then we'll show everybody the campaign. And the thing is, it's not, we know that sometimes you can get overwhelmed with Kickstarter. This is a very simple campaign. There's 4 tiers to choose from, and that's it. It's nice and simple. We want to provide you with a really quality book and story. The book is not done yet. We have several pages done, but the funds for Kickstarter will help this get drawn and illustrated quickly and colored quickly, and we'll have it to you within a couple of months of the end of the campaign. God willing, we fund. Having said that, let's do it. You guys ready?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, ready to launch. Launch project. And we are live. So the goal is 3,500 to make the book, and we got 29 days to go. We're going to show you the trailer now, okay? And it is subtitled for those of you who speak Spanish. Here we go.
In a dystopian future, Havana is a nightmare city, plagued by swarms of nanobots that destroy the soil throughout the country and cause monstrous mutations. The Fumigation Corps, composed only of social outcasts, are the only solution granted by the failed state to the uncontrolled pandemic of nano-allegiance. Jose is a fumigator, but he's old and bitter from his stressful work routine and has yet to deal with one of his worst days of his life.
So there's the trailer. Quick and to the point. This is cover number 1 by Alex Bravo, who will be doing the interiors and has done the interiors that we're sampling. And you guys know Alex from Cuba, right? You've worked with him before?
Yes.
Yes.
He's a very nice guy, one of the best artists. This is the first time we try to make the Fumigator. The first time. The third time. The first time.
And he's doing a wonderful job. Beautiful work. Now,
Yeah.
I want everybody to know this is going off my Fillable Publishing page. Some people they look and they say there's only 4 backed. If you go to my regular account on Kickstarter, you'll see I've backed almost 200 campaigns. So if that matters to you, please know that I am a big supporter of the indie community. So that's cover A. We've talked about the story. We'll go over it again. That's cover A. Here's cover B by Kenny Calderon, who's going to join us soon. And that's the Fumigator. A couple of people joked and said he looks like Bernie Sanders, which is funny.
Yes, we can use that.
You can use that. It's amazing.
And he, like the review said by DM Ray, he uses EMP weapons because, of course, he's dealing with nanobots and mechanics, and that he rides a catfish to get around the giant 4-legged catfish monster, hybrid, because an EMP would knock out any device he rides. So, if you saw the Judge Dredd with Carl Urban or the Raid, it's similar in the sense that he's going into this building and he has to fumigate it and clear it out, and he's going to be encountering different races of beings and cyborgs and all this other stuff, and it's just a great action comic. But at the same time, man, if you're just tired of the grind, like I said, and getting up in the morning and doing your job, you'll relate to him big time. Except, of course, he's risking his life while hating his job. So, and Alex Bravo did cover C, which is the third option. Very nice. We're really proud of these covers and this book. And you can do the all-in for $30. You get all 3 covers. The $12 each book if you buy the book by itself, but if you get the 3, we knock off $2 off each cover. You get it for $30. Here are some, as we saw in the review, some samples of the interiors. You've Alejandro, tell us about this panel right here. What's going on here? Hey, Artie.
Well, the Fumigator is seeing the WAF. The WAF are like the force that control the law. They are the police force. They are like convicts that use half of their brains, and they put them in those cybernetic bodies like wax.
So he's going to
What is inspired?
Say that again.
Inspiring the SWAT is inspiring the SWAT, but it's not the American SWAT. It's the Cuban. It's a force, some kind of Cuba force in.
Yeah, because in Cuba the elite force of repression is called the WAF. They are
actually.
See, that's their name. They are guys dressed in black that go out and do the government's orders, and they call them the WAF.
So that's the police state in Cuba. So obviously living in Cuba, which is a communist country, a lot of this has to do with the social climate there and what you deal with. Is it like an allegory for that?
What? Repeat again?
Yeah.
So,
what happened?
So with you live in Cuba, or you were living in Cuba, which is a communist country, is this story like a metaphor, an allegory for the political climate in Cuba?
Yes. In Cuba,
And the people.
In Cuba, the people who suffer more are the old people. The old ones, they have
And the professional.
And the professional, they doesn't have any future. So getting old in Cuba is a nightmare.
Right now.
Right now, you don't have any future, or you have how to be a good life. The only thing you can do in Cuba now is to die. suffer a lot because all of the, how you say, we have problem
A lot of problems.
with food, medical
Right.
supplies,
Well,
and
and
when
that's
you
the
are
thing is there's a lot of, not to get political, but there are a lot of Americans who for some reason romanticize communism and they don't understand how bad it is.
mhm.
So let me ask
Okay.
you, what inspired you to write this story? Like what are your influences and what inspired you to come up with Fumigator?
The problem is that in a couple of years ago there was a campaign to fumigate the mosquitoes
Thank you.
in Cuba. So they knocked the door of your house and they
Smoked with, oh, yeah.
filled your house with smoke, and there were boys that were doing military service, teenagers, and then because there was a plague
He was,
of mosquitoes, or then the government doesn't care because they abandoned that campaign. And
Oh
also
wow.
I use it and like a lot of things there.
and you know, guy.
And then well, I meet a lot of fumigators that were doing those jobs. And then I had a lot of inspiration of all American films. I like a lot of sci-fi films like the 80s films. Films like Death Machine, well, it's like 90s. Death Machine is one of them. Blade Runner, and of course the last version of Just Dredd that was, for me, the best characterization by Carl Urban. But also I didn't want to make Just Dredd because it was a copy. So I I I took the character and put it in Cuba.
Well,
You
like
think
I said, I was impressed when I got the script because it was just it was a breath of fresh air. It was something different. You know, I've been a comic collector for almost like 44, 44 years now. And
wow.
you know, at some point you've read it all, you've seen it all, you've done, you know, it's hard to come up with new stuff. And you know, sometimes you can take from different sources, but and when you mix it together, you get something totally new and fresh. And like I said before, there was a familiarity with the genre that was comfortable, but it was written and done, and the plot is something newer that it seemed fresh and exciting at the same time. So it was enjoyable, and I look forward to seeing the pages done on this. You know, and the good news is, as a publisher, I get to get a copy. So um, artist Kenny Calderon is with us.
Mhm.
Shazam! What's up, boss?
What's going on? Good evening,
Hel-
everyone.
Kenny, mira
New year.
Alejandro
Hello,
and Iris.
Kenny.
Algo, ¿cómo están?
Hola.
Ay,
Aquí con frío.
saludos.
So this is Kenny's cover. If you're a fan of Kenny's work, if you want to support Kenny, that's his cover right there. Um, we're very excited to get this going. To let's see, has anybody pledged yet? All right, so we got one backer for $26, which is good. Let's get this going, guys. And so Kenny, you know, we approached you and said, "Hey, can you do a cover?" What was your thoughts on the composition and you know and the character and his design and everything?
Well, everyone that I've had the pleasure of working with knows that I like to do my research. Right? For me, if it doesn't feel authentic, I'm doing a disservice to myself and the project. So, knowing that the story is set in Cuba, I started doing research with regards to how the streets look, right? And coincidentally, they look a lot like how they do in Old San Juan in Puerto Rico, right? So, you know, with the imagery, I applied that to a dystopian aesthetic, right? Because a lot of the coral color palettes that one would see here in Miami, you see that in the islands. It's actually very, very common to see those color palettes in the buildings. So I just envisioned the streets of Little Havana, run down, abandoned, boarded up windows, and so forth. And the building in the Capitol being an iconic building, a landmark that's recognizable by anyone who's ever been to Cuba or is from Cuba, right? To throw that in there as a visual Easter egg to sort of further push the context as to where the setting of the story is being held. And I love dystopian settings, right? I feel like it allows me as an artist to push the boundaries as to what I can do with color, right? And being able to tell a story with color. So I thought of, as opposed to a blue sky, I wanted to do something funky with the sky and have it feel arid, right? Like a Mad Max movie, or something that feels unnatural, for the time.
Yeah, I mean, you capture the atmosphere really nicely. Vibrant detail and colors, as always, buddy, on his outfit. Like I said earlier, some people see Bernie Sanders superhero kind of thing, which is funny. But again, it's also different that he's an older hero, which is a nice different take. He's not some young buff guy or some hot sexy chick, and I don't know, maybe we need to throw a hot sexy chick in somewhere to get this thing funded. But all jokes aside, it's another character that you can relate to. Just broken down older guy he's doing the best he can to just keep going through the day, and his day just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and he's got to deal with it, and he's bitching and kvetching and moaning and complaining, and and it's a little funny in that regard, that but it also brings you closer to the character, where you're going, yeah man, I get it. I've been there. I just had a day like that, I mean, I literally just got off of work an hour before we went live, so I get it, facing a grueling day. I mean, obviously the character's facing his life, but so it's just good. I really hope people give this a try. It's sci-fi, it's fun, it's really good. No, there are no boobies, sorry guys, but that's what it is. Now, if we fund at 3,500, if we get to 5,000, we unlock a sticker. If we get to 7,000, we get a sticker of Kenny's isolated Bernie Sanders art. And then if we get to 9,000, we have a stretch goal print. That's Alex Bravo did that, correct? This print?
Yes, he is.
Okay. And of course, Philbo Publishing, if you scan this, you can go to what we're doing. Here's the team, which George with a J is about to join. I think he even showered for this. But there's Kenny looking all thug life. Now, are you going to play that like a drum, like that dude in the 80s or 90s?
No. Not at all.
There's Alex Bravo looking like a Cuban model there, like looking all spiffy. What's up, Alex? I hope you're watching. Alex has worked hard and did beautiful work on the pages. We're grateful for the work he's putting in, and we look forward to getting this funded so Alex can finish this book and just and really show what's going on. This is 3 issues, a 3-issue story, right, Alejandro?
Yes, 3 issues.
Very cool. Now, go ahead.
It's not an ongoing series. It's 3 issues. Only
So,
2 years.
but you know what? That's fine because the best writers write for the sake of what the story has to say, and when you have nothing else to say in the story, there's no need to continue. So that's a testament to you as a writer, and you're writing with integrity. It's about the story, and it's about his story, not about stretching this out unnecessarily. There's Alejandro looking confused.
Yes.
And his beautiful, lovely wife, Iris. And there's me about 60 pounds ago. Wow, I got a lot of chins there. Look at that. But I'm still handsome. Oh, wait a minute. Where did Jorge? Oh, crap. I didn't put Jorge's. I got to add Jorge's. He's shaking his head. Oh, crap. I forgot Jorge's bio. George with a J, not Jorge. What am I doing? Wow, I'm losing it. I'm tired. Philbo Publishing has some other stuff coming soon we'll talk about at the end. But, all right, let's pull George on with a J so he can yell at me. Without further ado, letterer extraordinaire, writer and creator of Wonder Duck and a bunch of other stuff. It is not Jorge. It is George with a J, and he is the main man from Yonkers. What's
Unbelievable. 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 I'm anticipating. I'm like, I showered for this. I'm going to get my moment of shine. I'm going to get my bio in
just
there.
To be clear, spraying some Axe on is not showering.
Don't judge me. Do not judge me. Hi, everyone. How you doing? Nice to meet everyone. Thank you for having me.
Hi.
George with the A.
Listen,
Jane, Alex, Davor, Candy here.
You have an incredible story here. I really love the premise, and I love what you guys are doing. So yeah, congratulations.
And we did not pay George for that. So
no, it's really, really good, man. It's really good. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me on.
George is the newest team member at Philbo Publishing. He's a few books from Philbo will have his credits on it. He's a really talented letterer. So just want you to know if you need a book lettered, reach out to George. Kenny has, of course, been an artist with Philbo from the start. He does many other things, of course, but he's part of the stable. I mean, we can't call it the bullpen because that's Marvel. So we have to come up with instead of the Marvel bullpen, we have to come up with a name like the Philbo stable or something. I don't know, but so it's nice that the family's growing at Philbo, and we're coming out with fresh ideas and different stories, and I'm really excited about it. So Alejandro, and I know there's a little bit of a language barrier, so I apologize. I know it's probably hard. Sometimes you're trying to formulate how to say it in English, but tell us about the protagonist in Fumigator. Tell us about him.
Well, the Fumigator is an old man, retired. He's
not retired. He's a worker, frustrated old worker, an outcast.
The problem is that he's a character with a lot of frustration. He doesn't want to admit that he wastes his life for doing his job. So he keeps doing his job like carrying a cross.
The burden of the work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many of us can relate to that, right?
And so then also he's an outcast because he's from part of the population that in that world there's a lot of cyborgs. Fumigators are the only kind of people that can have
cyber parts, nanotechnology, plastic. He's a natural, and that is allergic. And he's bad. He can wear nothing artificial, absolutely natural. He's a natural. And in that world, that is that scene is
He's
right.
scratchy.
Uh-huh. Because it's like someone who can use a computer in this time. So it's outside that his options of words is absolutely new, except for this fumigating part, a specimen in lab specimen or trash worker and something like that.
He can use cybernetic parts because he's allergic.
Now, tell us about
Okay.
the action in this book. I mean, what are readers to expect? What are we going to find when we get this book done and they're looking at these beautiful pages? What's going to be jumping off the page at us?
Well, Fumigator is going to suffer a lot. He's going to deal with a lot of people, cybernetic abominations, gangs, the government, because he's always, how do you say, acusado, stalked by the government because he has to do his job, because if he doesn't finish his day job, he's going to his wage, he's going to lose his wage.
And also he has to watch over his shoulder for another kind of nanotechnology who is involved in something worse. And maybe some kind of sociopath, psychopath over there. The people who have to get into the house and fumigate it and search the non-illegalities, and the people just awful with him.
The people hate him because he's a government
And
functionary.
a natural.
Because
You know,
he's
and that's
going
the thing.
to
He's like the John
among people.
McClane. He's like a John McClane, right? Everything just goes wrong. Everything's against him. The guy can't get a break, and it's just one crappy thing after another. And who can't relate to that, especially these days, you know? And that's the stuff that catches me when I watch a movie or read a story, is characters that I that are real. You know, things aren't easy. You know, things are tough, and that's when you see the mettle of someone. You know, that when things are wrong and things are just keep piling on you, how do you handle it? What do you do? And that is as much interesting to me as the action scenes and the backdrop and all of that. So George with a J.
What's up, buddy?
You're very familiar with the sci-fi genre, obviously with Wonder Duck. And before we leave today, we're going to have you talk about that briefly and plug and your show. So reading this, you got the same thing I did, right? I mean, this is a character that you really see a real fleshed out character.
Oh, what happened? I didn't do that.
You?
Hello.
Oh no!
I think we lost Phil.
Disappear.
He disappeared.
You are right now?
What? Bill?
Here we lose you.
He's coming back.
He's coming back. He's coming back.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Alejandro and Iris, where did the story for Fumigator come from? Did you guys speak about that? I was late, so I'm sorry. I missed that. Did you talk about where the idea came from?
Well,
¿Habla?
the word about an inspiration of the fumigation campaigns in Cuba against the kind of mosquitoes. They use young people that were in military service. They go to all people home and they enter with their bazookas. They call that the fumigator device. They call that name, and they fill your home with smoke.
Mm.
There was about a couple of years of that, and then the government, the mosquito continues, the plague continues, and the government forget about it. And also a couple of films that I like, uh, all films like Death Machines.
Mhm.
The last movie of Dread 3D, the building, that movie.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know, you remember Virus,
Yeah.
the movie of Emily Curtis of the boat.
Yeah.
I use those ideas, but I put them in Cuba with because
Situation.
the problem is that something when that can give you reality is that you use something of your that you have lived, something that you have experienced, and you put it in your story. You have to do
Yeah.
it right.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear.
The camera's not working. I don't know why. I think I just my good looks must have broke it.
My,
Okay.
So as long as you can hear me, then we'll go from there. We'll have to deal with looking at George.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Audio's good.
Yeah. Audio's good, buddy.
Things
Sorry to
happen.
interrupt. Go ahead.
No, he was simply doing a recap as to what was the inspiration behind Fumigator, and
Yeah, and you know,
Alejandro was
here's
explaining, like what were the source IPs that he like pulled from in order to build the I guess the world of Fumigator, and some of the conflicts that the main character would be confronted with.
thanks to Dog Pound Brown, by the way, for promoting and supporting. And I'm going to be, he launched tonight as well, his campaign. You're welcome to drop your campaign link in the chat, DP. Go for it. Promote him as well. And I'm going to be interviewing him on CreatorCon in a couple of weeks. So look, it's real simple. We're at a crossroads in comic book world, or even media in general, where we have a lot of collectibles, you know, collecting and investing, and then we have the readers. Sometimes they overlap and they cross. If you're a reader and you're looking for material that's well written, it's new, it's different, I'm telling you, this is where to come. Philbo Publishing, and this book is a good start to the year, because you know you could be influenced by other genres, other stories, and still create something fresh and new, and that's what's been done here. And we have a fantastic team on board. I mean, you see Kenny's art, you know, his cover is fantastic, right there. And of course, you've got Alex Bravo, who's doing interiors, who's also a fantastic artist, and colors by Fabio, who has like 50 names. So I always just stop at Fabio because I can't remember. Sorry, Fabio, not that you're watching. So, I mean, we've got beautiful art attached. And then, of course, we've got letters from George. Now, Alex originally put the balloons in when he was drawing. So George has been working with that, but going forward, the new pages we do, George is going to be doing the word balloons himself. So the placement is himself. So that's George. That's what he does. That's his talent, one of his many talents. And let me ask you, on this cover, is there a little iris in there? Do we see a little iris in there?
I see iris in there.
I can see it.
Yeah.
that's not me.
I can
I
see
see a
it.
little
You are
iris
right
in there.
Maybe if
Now-
you draw that, maybe I believe it, but that is not me.
Bravo, drove that.
You write the short history before to fall in love with me.
I started marital fight. This is great. So I'm such an instigating bastard. So we haven't talked about who is this mystery lady, and then talk about his catfish ride, his pet. So let's start with the mystery lady. What can you tell us about her without spoiling anything?
Well, she's
A spoiler right now.
it's
a big
difficult to don't do a spoiler. He's a dealer of nanobox. He's a
So she's a nanobot dealer. So she's the antagonist, right?
No.
not so.
Maybe.
Maybe yes.
George knows what I'm doing.
and the catfish is the best. Is the family of the Fumigator.
So that's his best friend and his ride.
Then he's his best friend.
Very cool.
Because in that world they use those kind of mutation like transportation means.
In Cuba, because the problems with all, people can use catfish giant, mega giant catfish for transportation and some kind of work. He find Sylvia. Is Sylvia?
Sylvia Collins.
He finds Sylvia when he was tiny. It's his only family in this point.
They formed a bond because he's been taking care of him since he was little. Catfish has a different meaning these days in America, but we won't go there. George catfishes all the time. He puts up these fake pictures, making him look like Fabio.
Yeah, this isn't really me. This isn't my face.
Yeah. Well, then you should catfish. You should catfish much better.
I suck at catfishing.
Yeah.
I'm no good.
The problem is that the catfish in Cuba means another thing. They breed a lot of catfish like a way to solve food problems. But the problem is that catfish can escape from the waters when they broke them, and they go and eat everything.
Right.
And destroy almost
That's a little chaos
real farm.
there, and that's where I take the inspiration for it.
And they reproduce much faster than the population can eat it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're like the locust fish. They're like locusts. Well, there's a lot of themes in this, but it's not beating you over the head with any heavy political commentary. Just so you know.
Audio.
What's that?
Audio.
Everything all right? Can you hear me?
Did they freeze?
Yeah.
You're coming in great.
Oh, they
Yeah,
froze.
I can hear you.
Okay.
We may have lost Alejandro.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 5 backers, $87. Come on, guys, get us funded. I'm telling you're not going to be disappointed. Do you want new, fresh, interesting stuff to read, or do you want to keep complaining about the same regurgitated crap that's out there? Because I'm telling you, Philbo is giving you new stuff, and you only find out by pledging. It's a $12 book, or you can get all 3 covers for $10 each for $30.
It's a great deal.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll probably be adding some stuff as we go along because we want to beef this up. We need a strong launch, guys. Get us there, please. We're gonna wrap it up shortly. This is Fumigator issue 1, and Jose Gonzalez is a fumigator from the Ministry of Health, cleaning the city of its nanobot infection. in a futuristic dystopian Havana, Cuba. So I'll play the trailer again before we go tonight, and I'll show the covers again. Again, you've got Alex Bravo, cover A. Kenny Calderon. Thank you, Kenny.
Oh, that's
B.
you, Kenny? That's dope, bro. I
Yeah,
didn't know that was
thank
you.
you.
Holy, that's nice, man.
That's
Thank
why
you.
we have him on. It ain't for his looks.
Holy cow, bro. That's really good.
In part, it's because of my looks.
And then there's cover C by Alex Bravo.
Nice.
That's
And
a
then
dope
you
cover,
get
too.
all three for $30. All in, guys. Come on. Let's do this, Brutus, because I ain't new to this. Look at those
Here we go.
interiors.
Here we go.
Beautiful. Yeah. You knew it was coming.
This is
It's been a while, Kenny.
This is a good looking book, man. Really nice.
It is a really
Yeah.
good looking book. That while I was,
You know, when it comes to lettering, sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. No, I was gonna say that while I was sourcing imagery and material so that I can make the cover, you know, like a lot of the stuff that you sent me, Phil, I was really like impressed. Not to say that, you know, I wasn't expecting something of quality, right? Because you know, I'm sure you wouldn't put your stamp on anything that's below like a standard. So I was just really, really impressed with the color palette. It felt very crisp. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the line art is very different from what I see in a lot of American comic artists, right? Like the just the art style, it feels very fresh. The color palette feels very crisp. That's the best way I could describe it. It feels crisp. Like it's not heavy.
And it
I
matches,
mean?
right? It matches what's going on in this book. It just
and it's not
just
oversaturated.
really
So like there's an air of what's the word I'm looking for? Departure from what
from the norm.
from what we recognize. You know what I mean? So it's like the line art feels familiar, but the color palette like separates it from reality, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah. There's like a surreal kind of look to it.
That's
right?
it. Yes.
Yeah, it's very surreal. Like it's almost like a dream, right? But it's like, but it's hitting you. Like it's still hitting you. It's giving you impact. It really does.
Right.
Just wait until you get the rest of this book done if we fund, but we need to fund. We need your support, guys. And your support not only hires other people and not only, you know, makes their dream come true. You have to remember from where they come from, this is not something they can do there. We take this for granted in America that we could just Kickstarter a comic book and push it and hope it gets made and do our thing. It's very difficult for Alejandro and Iris to live this dream, and that's why they're here in the American market. So help them live this dream. I mean, it's 4 a.m. there and in Madrid right now, and that's how dedicated they are and excited and nervous and passionate about this. Good writing, man, really good writing and passionate about the comic world. If you've been a fan of comics for 40 plus years, there's no, whether you love what's out there now in Marvel or DC or don't love it, why not pull out another title that you can look forward to reading? Writing is top notch. The story is interesting. The action is jumping off the page, and the character is extremely relatable. I mean, there's nothing more you can say about it. It's sci-fi action. It's fun. Despite the political undertones, it does not beat you over the head with any political pulpit. That's not what we do at Filbo, and it's not what Alejandro and Iris are doing in this book. But if you love Judge Dredd and you love Terminator and you love, you know, Old Man Logan and you love The Raid and, you know, all these other type of sci-fi stories, this is right there, man. This is right there at the genre. But you got to give it a try to find out. And for a measly $12, you can find out. You know, we also have the PDF. If you don't, and we are doing international. If the shipping's too much for you international, I get it. It's unfortunately expensive. Do a PDF. You get a digital PDF. nothing's stopping you from supporting. I mean, I know the economy's tough, but maybe pass up that Big Mac that's closing your arteries this week and just pick up a PDF or something. It's worth it. It's worth it. And George has 15 illegitimate kids to feed, so he needs books to let her.
16.
You know?
16. I just found another one. 16.
And Kenny's modeling career has been nosediving, so we have to help.
Sure.
He look at him, cracks up in the background. We can't see him. He's just over there laughing.
I'm laughing.
Troll.
Yeah, I'm laughing all the way to hell. But anyway, before we get going, George, tell us about what you got going on, the books you're writing and doing, your YouTube channel, which I was very happy and fortunate to be a guest on. Thank you. So tell us about your stuff.
I'm a writer. I created a book called The Adventures of Wonder Duck, another book called Rust 5377. I'm currently writing another book, which I'm putting out hopefully by the end of the year, called The Shameless Plug. But what I'm doing online is I actually have a YouTube channel where I interview writers and we talk about the art of comic writing. I think that there is a lot. We talk a lot about the visuals, obviously, because it's a visual medium, right? But I think very little is known about what we do as writers and what we bring into the equation, which is stories like this. We try to be as original as possible when originality is scarce. And so I like to talk about that. So yeah, I have Phil on the show, and we do that. So if you guys want to check it out, it's on Get Your Meds. It's on YouTube. It's called Get Your Meds with a Z. It's a play on my last name, Medina.
MEDZ.
So, yeah, MEDZ with a Z. Yeah. So go ahead and check it out. Go to my website, getyourmeds.com, where you can pick up my books. You can pick up T-shirts and stuff like that I have on there. So yeah, check that out. And don't forget to support indie comics, support Fumigator. Drop a couple of bucks in there, even if it's digital, like Phil says.
And if it's not your thing, you can always donate $1, $5. Everything is appreciated, and we're grateful.
Man. Absolutely, and thank you guys for having me on. Kenny, it's always good to see you, and Alejandro and Iris. Very proud of you. You guys are doing amazing work.
Thank you.
And Phil, you giving them a platform. It's also awesome, brother. So good for you.
Well, I got to say, George is probably my favorite interviewer. I enjoy being, not that he likes to have me on the show. He just obligatorily had me the one time, but it's fun talking with George. George was actually at my home breaking bread a couple of months ago. Some of the silverware is missing, but George is one of my favorite people in the indie scene. Outside the indie scene, I don't give two shits about him, but in the indie scene, he's one of my favorite people.
You just can't stop. You can't stop.
He'll be right. He'll text me. I fucking hate you, man. I just hate you. George is a good man. He's very talented. I had the pleasure of reading The Adventures of Wonder Duck, one of the issues, and you might think it's a children's book that's just for kids and whatever. It really isn't. It's so good for everyone, like a Pixar movie, how an adult can enjoy it and the kids can enjoy it. That brings people together to read comics. You really should check out Wonder Duck. I haven't had the opportunity to read his other title, which I will at some point, but please go check it out. Support him. He is worth your time, despite what the women say. So go check it out. Kenny, what do you got, brother?
Nah, I'm kidding. A little bit of everything. Which sidebar? The Adventures of Wonder Duck. I supported it. I bought it for my son.
Oh, dude, thanks, man.
Yeah, dude. Like, my son grew up watching me illustrate comics. So he's very much involved and in love with the comic medium. So I try to expose him to different, comic stories, right, in that medium. So he grew up on what is this one, Captain Underpants and so on and so forth. So
where'd you get my nickname from?
I try to throw a lot of indie books at him that are in that scope, and
Kenny,
he dug it.
How old is he?
He just turned 11
Awesome, brother.
in
I
November.
appreciate that, man. Thank you for saying that. That's awesome. I didn't realize you did that. Thank you.
He
Man.
just turned 11 in November, so like
Cool.
I get him the
Wow.
IDW Sonic books.
Yeah.
He loves that stuff. He loves that stuff. So
Nice.
and he's a lot of the family friendly books that I've illustrated he's got as well. So like he does
awesome.
have a copy of the dynamics and so forth,
Yeah.
right? So
Cool.
but as far as me, currently I am on a book project called Running in the Deep. That's in production. I'm illustrating that now, and what I will be selling at some of the shows that I'll be appearing at is the tragedy manga, right? Published by Filbo. So if you
I
guys
wanted to show it. I
get an
have it here, but
opportunity
I
to pick that up.
can't.
So if you guys didn't get an opportunity to grab that when the Kickstarter was live for the trade paperback, you can get it from me, right? My next convention will be Beyond Comic Con in North Miami Beach. After that, it's Puerto Rico Comic Con at the end of March. I will have
Damn,
the
I wish I
manga
could
with
show
me
it.
for Puerto Rico and every show moving forward.
Yo, straight up, I wish I could show it. I got the book in my hand right here. It's thick, 40 pages. And Kenny, in my opinion, it's your best work yet in your career. The action pages are just so freaking dynamic. It's insane. The line work is great. The movement, just the facial expressions, and it is manga, and it's
I
traditional
appreciate that.
Japanese. Going right to left, and yeah, I think this is your best work of your career, which is saying a lot because you've done some amazing work, and I'm glad it's on my book because
you gotta see the new stuff that's coming, right?
Well, we want to pursue the manga and continue, but
yes,
go check out Kenny Wilding Studios. Alejandro and Iris must be exhausted, and well, I'm going to warn you now. You've got a month of shitting a brick. You're going to be up and down all emotionally all month, watching it go up, watching people drop pledges, watching it go cold, and it's going to be this roller coaster of emotions. So strap in and be prepared because Kickstarter is a heartbreaker. I'm just telling you. But I will do everything I can to get this book funded. If I have to go toilet paper people's houses, whatever I got to do, we will get this damn book funded. We want your dream to happen. And I, like Captain Kirk, don't like to lose. So, before we go out, Alejandro, Iris, give us your quick elevator pitch. Why do we want to back Fumigator? Why do we want this book? That's not a good start.
Alejandro?
It's a good story. It's a terror story for the character that lives in there. It's a dystopian story. It has a lot of things: comedy, horror. You have to read it first. You're going to enjoy it.
Cyberpunk history in Cuba, a dystopian Cuba with all the problems of Cuba exaggerating at mega ultra. That's why you have to buy the comic and the comedy and the action and the horror and the frustration is.
It's the first also thanks to Phil. It's the first Cuban comic in Kickstarter. The first one.
We are the first one.
We are the first one.
Cuban history in Kickstarter.
Just again, I'm going to reiterate: they're very passionate about this. They're really, and you should be, and you're proud, and you should be proud of this story. And this is what we should be supporting: people who are writing passionate, well-written stories that are going to entertain you. We don't preach at you. We're not. It's not a pulpit. It's not a soapbox. It's not a megaphone. It's just good storytelling like we used to get, that pulls you out of reality into this world, that sucks you in, and you're entertained and you have a good time for the time that you're there. But you won't know that unless you back the book. So we're going to ask you to please back this book, make their dream a reality. Again, a disgruntled older guy who's battling age, who's battling looking back on his life with regret, who's battling a job he can't stand, who's battling nano-infected cyborg mutant wackadoos, who's battling the very government that employs him, and other threats that arise. And this is a guy that's down on your luck, like John McClane, and shit just keeps piling on him. But you know what? Like the rest of us, he keeps getting up.
Yeah.
Because that's all we can do. And if that resonates with you, and you like sci-fi action, fun, and just how about just designs? You can see different characters, different creatures, different people, different cyborgs, different types of drones and robots. A landscape that you don't see in comics. You don't see Cuba in comics, especially a dystopian future. I mean, this is fresh. This is new. There's no reason not to just check this out. It's not even
You don't see
expensive.
too many old guys in lead roles either.
No.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And it's not expensive. It's $12 for a book or $30 for all 3 covers to support artists. Hey, Greg, what's going on? Everybody, I'm not going to shout his business, but say prayers for Greg that he has a good week, because Friday's got some big things going on for himself. So let's all say prayers for Greg that everything goes well for him.
Good luck, Greg.
And we're at $133 with 6 backers, but we've got a long way to go.
It's only the beginning.
We need you. Don't make me find you, people. I'm just saying, ask George. I'm annoying as shit. But I am grateful to work with every one of you. You're good people. You're talented people. You're creative people. And that's what we need more of in this world. In a world where we're just pumping out covers or collectibles or cartoon porn, we need people who want to write quality stories. I mean, it's cool if you collect that stuff, but let's support storytelling as well, because where would we be without these stories that we hold so dear? I mean, you look at your favorite childhood memories, and it's movies. It's attached to movies like The Goonies or Back to the Future or the original Star Wars trilogy. That's how important. Yeah, and that's how important storytelling is, right? Because these good stories resonate with you forever, and you revisit them often. And a good story makes you feel sad when it's over, like you lost someone, right? So if we don't support and cherish good storytelling, we lose a lot. Whether it's Filbo or, publishing, whether it's Fumigator or Wonder Duck or the tragedy manga or whatever it is, support quality storytelling by passionate storytellers, and you won't be disappointed. And we're not even asking for a lot of money. All right? So that's my spiel, and I'm sticking to it. Mm-hmm. You are all good people. I wish you the best of success. I really hope this campaign funds. There's been a lot of love and hard work and dedication put into this, and we care. We care a lot. And I want to see their dream come true. But we need you to do it. All right. Any last words?
No, man, I think you said it.
Thank you very much.
You guys need to get some rest. It's late.
Well, it's early. It's almost time to wake up.
It's so late. It's early. It's so late. It's early. I don't know, Kenny. Should we get George involved this time? And now that we have to fill in that role, who's going to help us close out here?
Okay. I think
What am I
Now,
George could do it.
Legendary Illustrations may not be something anymore, but its spirit still lives. So, George, do you know how I close out my shows? You bastard! You bastard!
Something about storming the castle. I don't want to misquote you.
Son of a bitch!
I don't want to
Son of a
misquote you.
bitch! Yeah, and you ate at my fucking table. God damn you!
Sorry, sorry. I
Never feeding you again. All right, so that's exactly how you end it, but you got to say it like Billy Crystal in Princess Bride. So Kenny's gonna lead off. Go ahead, Kenny.
Well, right now? Is that my cue?
That's your cue.
All right. Be legendary.
Have fun storming the castle.
That was better than the old one.
What was that?
Have fun storming the castle.
There you
Later.
go.